Syndicates are sort of a forgotten portion of Warframe. For the record, I will talk about the 6 original syndicates, not the Conclave and Cephalon Summaries. In their current form, syndicates serve as a method of obtaining badass syndicate weapons or augments just by playing with their respective syndicates. Each one has their own small backstory. There's Steel Meridian, who you only care about because Clem is in it and because of the Vaker Marilock and Vaker Heck. There's Cephalon Suda, who has great stuff to offer but little to no interesting lore to go with it. Really? Peaceful Cephalon who dislikes violence and only wants to learn? Come on DE, you can do better. There's the Parent Sequence, who are basically independent stockbrokers. There's the Arbiters of Hexus, which is the product of when you allow Tenno to speak and form government-like cults. There's the Red Veil, who are essentially edgelords in spandex. And finally, there's New Loka, aka Space Nazis. You know they're Space Nazis, don't lie. They worship the fuck out of everything that's pure, and yet if you piss them off they send ancients your way. Ain't that sweet? To me it feels like the only reason they're even put up with is because they offer one of the best weapons in the game. Anyway, there is so much that DE can do to improve syndicates. For example, DE can make it so once you reach maximum standing with a syndicate, you gain the ability to do a syndicate quest, which consists of you running 1 to 4 missions for your respective syndicate, and in return, you gain an exclusive syndicate item. It could be a weapon or cosmetic item. Every mission would have to relate to each syndicate's lore in order to keep the mission pacing fresh. For example, suppose that New Loka tasks you with sabotaging Grenier research on Uranus. During the sabotage, a scrap of information is discovered that describes the Grenier conquest of Earth. Intrigued by this, New Loka requests that upon completing the sabotage, you infiltrate a Grenier base on Earth to recover more information. That's just an example, but the syndicate quest would continue from there. I want to know how the syndicates came to be. Just being a play for rewards component of the game doesn't satisfy me. Why do we not know who formed the Arbiters of Hexus, and why? Why do we not know where Cephalon Suda originated from? Why does the Steel Meridian's picture have a line through the Earth and Moon? Were they formed when the Earth and Moon were together? If so, why? There's so much potential for syndicates that's just waiting to be tapped into. With the release of the second Dream, we have a little more insight into what the Tenno truly are, and because of that, the very least that can be done is to have the Arbiters of Hexus's lore updated. Besides syndicate quests, I feel there's another way for syndicates to be more relevant: syndicate invasions. The way this would work is a syndicate invasion node would spawn in a random planet, and it would generate a conflict there that doesn't go against syndicate alliances, so Cephalon Suda versus Arbiters of Hexus for example will never happen. Anyway, let's say that a syndicate invasion spawns, and the conflict generated is the Parent Sequence versus Steel Meridian. When it spawns, all players who are allied with the Parent Sequence or Steel Meridian will be notified of a syndicate invasion by their respective syndicate, not by the Lotus. Then syndicate invasions would function similar to regular invasions. Players can support their respective syndicates in the invasion by running the mission, and the winning syndicate rewards its players with a generous amount of standing and any other items that the syndicates decide to offer, such as gold potatoes. To wrap this up, syndicates need to be changed so they're not so shallow anymore. When all you have to do to obtain one of the strongest weapons in the game is pledge yourself to Space Nazis, it's hard to care about them when they don't explain their history, their actions, or what they're planning. Thank you for watching.